All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. I am doing great. Happy anniversary, buddy.
Is it today?
Yeah,
No way. I did not know that.
yeah. We are
Sweet.
it's 2 years, man. We're together longer than most marriages. Some marriages
I
last. My
I
my
I
first
agree.
marriage. So
Not that I want to laugh at that, but I'm glad that we survived that.
yeah, yeah, 2 years. 2 years we've been doing this
Wow.
almost every morning, obviously, except for vacations and
Yes, yes.
lost power, what is sickness, illness, kids sick, everything else. So thanks for sticking with us, guys.
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely been a hell of a ride. If you go back and you look at our first videos of this pre-market show,
Oh man.
oh man, it was like wow. I mean, it's great to go back and see how the improvement has gone over the years, but man, it was definitely something. So, wow, excellent, great stuff,
Well,
and nice to be on a Friday as well. Guys, let's and again, just thank you to everybody that's been sending in their feedback. We appreciate it. We're actually going to me and Norm going to meet next week and see some of the stuff that we can do. Obviously, we can't please everybody and can't do everything, but there were some good suggestions that we can hopefully implement in the future. With that said, guys, let's take a look at what we had yesterday on our list. Let's start with TLRY. This one was on here. Had a bit of a rough start. Let's get our 5 minute chart in here. Let's go over to our 5 minute. There we go. So had a little bit of a rough start, but man, it was a sell-off the entire day, guys. Look at here, just couldn't get going above this first pop. The initial pop that it did made this high of the day here. Then from there was downhill. Really tried to hold these moving averages. It couldn't, and you can see the beautiful drop here all the way down, guys. I mean, it just held on to this 9 moving average. Tested 20 a couple of times in here. But again, no signs of strength yesterday at all. One that did the opposite was IQ. IQ was quite the opposite. Had a rough start to going, a little bit choppy in here, but eventually around 11 or so at 10:30, did find a nice trend play here. Did break out nicely. This thing gapped down big yesterday, and we like the IQ because again, when it can get going, it can trade very well, and it did that just yesterday. If you can see here, this level we had 2308. Look how great that was yesterday. Yes, I know the high of the day was all the way up here, but a few minutes into the market open, you knew that this was the key area because it just kept testing that right on there. Finally broke out towards the high of the day, and then it just took off here, guys. And just look at the pop 23 over to 2660. Again, just a beautiful play on IQ yesterday. Walmart had a lot of potential. Did great in the pre-market, but man, it was just awful at the market open. I did not expect this out of Walmart. Again, I thought it would be a little bit cleaner. But given how great the pre-market was, but that's okay. Again, I think that we'll see this in our watches a little bit more after such a drop. I think the next few weeks this is going to be a little bit more active than it has been. Um, Neo guys,
Walmart
Neo.
trades like garbage no matter what the story is.
Oh yes, I was
We
hoping that
mentioned it
it wouldn't.
yesterday when we were
Mhm.
chatting, and it's just one of those big name blue chip type tickers that's got way too many nicey market makers in it.
Agree.
So
Yeah, we definitely thought it would be different, but man, it continues to trade the way it does. So we'll see what happens here. Neo, on the other hand, did trade very well, guys. You did get a little pop here towards the opening range breakup on the 5 minute or 15 minute as well. But then it does drop down here nicely, guys. Look at this beautiful drop below the moving averages, below the VWAP. You lose this 55.22 level, and it runs. I mean, this is madness here. If you're not in here early on, it's very difficult to take this trade because you can easily get caught in one of these pullbacks, right? Once it gets extended like this, I know it might be easier said than done now. Oh, you could enter here, you could enter here, but again, you just don't know how that price action was. It's very extended. I mean, this thing dropped down all the way to 52.60, and then the pullback on this, the pullback is 53.40. So again, just tells you how aggressive Neo was. And then from there, it didn't do much. Again, the play was here early on, and when it lost the view, it's a great play. From here on, I mean, you had to probably maybe scalping opportunities, if that. I mean, this just doesn't look great at all. So not a whole lot of action there. Apple was great, guys. After the first hour or so, the first half hour, did give you a beautiful drop as well right in here, guys. You can see it. We lost this 128 level that we had in the pre-market, and look at the great continuation you had there as well. From there, bounces nicely towards the VWAP, and it does trade better than Neo in the later parts of the day. You do get this beautiful support happening again right at this level, 128.54. And if you had a good entry off of that, you can see how great that played out towards the end of the day. POTR was just messy, messy. I mean, this is
It's
typical.
I mentioned
Oh,
it yesterday. I tried trading this thing. I made
yeah.
a few bucks on it, but
Hmm.
it sucked. It
It,
it
it does.
just it I said it yesterday. I don't have a do not trade list, but this is real close to me starting one on that.
Yeah, this is it's just incredible how it can have some really good days and then throw something like this after such a great pre-market action, a great volume, and just look at this garbage. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And so again, that's what we had yesterday, guys. A good, pretty active day. We had a couple of really good ones there. Let's get over to our market post, and we'll come back and fine tune this list. Well, build our list.
Uh, yeah, man. So up a little bit less than 0.5% on the SPY, a little bit more than 0.5% on the Qs. We've got flash PMIs 9:45, existing home sales 10 a.m., Fed speaker at 11. We'll see. I mean, just kind of been a choppy market. This last week, and I'm still trying to get in the swing of things, coming back, getting a feel for it. So, I mean, our gapping up list is definitely a lot bigger. I'm seeing a lot of different, same story we've had. Big gapping up list with the market not doing a ton, decent volume this morning on the SPY, but um, we've got some of these fad stocks, whether it's Bitcoin stuff, alternative energy names, things of that nature, and we'll dig through it.
All right, absolutely. All right, guys, let's jump into our watch list for this morning. Let's build that out. Let's go ahead and start doing some rows in here. And we can see what we have. So not a whole lot in our down list this morning. I mean, pretty light. Only two here. We have a Dropbox. I believe this is Dropbox. Yeah. So Dropbox is in here, which normally doesn't trade very well today. They're down 4.2, 120. You could tell here by the daily how choppy this is. I remember when this thing IPO'd because I took a trade on that day. And ever since then, it hasn't really been a great intraday trading stock, right? Rarely do we see this trade very well. Right now, pre-market action, you do got a little bit of volume, not great at the moment, and the daily's just all over the place. I do like this drop here for a possible continuation towards this daily level here. But again, if this stock would trade better, maybe we can keep it as a main list. We'll put it as a possible for now. TLWO, this one, again, just difficult to trade, guys. Very difficult to trade this one to manage your risk. The spread could be a little bit higher. So I'm not going to add it to my list. They're down 3.5 today. So if this is your type of a stock that you like to trade, you can add this one. I'm going to avoid this one right now. So
Yeah, really tough.
it is really tough. Oh,
It
look at
goes in that PLTR kind of
yeah,
feel.
it really does. It really with a whole lot less volume too. And again, at that price with less volume, it's a little even more difficult to trade. Here we have popping up GTEC. This is the low flow stock that went crazy yesterday on the pre-market. Today they're down 3.2. Again, guys, this is when it gets scary. You do not have shares for sure. I'm not even gonna add this on here for a possible finding some kind of support and popping up. It's just not worth it. So we'll leave this one alone right now. All right, let's see what's gapping up. Let's start with this low flow here. TAOP. This one is a 5.5 million shares float, and pre-market does not look great. Again, you guys know we're looking for in the pre-market. This is not it. Let's move down to UAVS. At the moment, they are up 23%. Pre-market action looks decent. What company is this? AG
Ag
Eagle.
Eagle.
Aggie. That's Aggie Eagle.
Ag
Tell me.
Eagle. It's
Ag-
they make drones for different
oh,
stuff, but
got
a lot of
got
it has to do with agricultural stuff, hence the name.
Gotcha. I remember we talked about this before, maybe one of these gapping updates here. Right now, pre-market action doesn't look all that bad. Yesterday, they didn't have such a great day going into the later part of the afternoon, as you can see here, dropping down basically the entire day. So that is interesting. Sitting on the American Stock Exchange, again, these stocks tend to trade a little bit different, but with heavy volume, though. You notice that when the stocks on the American Exchange are in play, their volume is really high, 10 million, 23 million. It's just there's something strange about that. But UAVS, we'll add that on here as a possible right now because I think the pre-market does look decent here. Had a nice drop yesterday. The daily looks a little bit wacky, but I think in here we had a couple of days that were decent. IPA and not the beer. This one we have looked at before. I don't think it looks great, guys. Recent IPO as well. Yeah, recent IPO. Yeah, horrible pre-market action. Not a great daily. We'll skip on this. Very light on the volume for the most part, as you can see here. This
Low
day here.
float, 14
Oh, is it
million,
low float?
15 million. Yeah.
Ah, horrible. Let's not waste no time on it. I didn't notice the float. Thank you, man. VIOT. VIOT is also low flow, 16 million. Not a great pre-market action. Daily's okay. Daily's okay on this one. But the pre-market action is definitely not looking great for the type of float that it is. We'll do one more. TIGR. This one's gapping up 11.6 at the moment. This could be interesting. I mean, their daily is just incredible. I gotta say, their day looks really, really nice. Here was it got very extended to give you a little pullback and was able to manage to break a new high. So that is a very, very interesting daily there. I have not traded this one. I kept it on my list before. Not familiar how the price action is when it is in play, but we'll find out today. We'll keep it on there. All right, let's stop here. Norm, what do you like this morning?
Looking, man, but a couple of things on the radar. Uber, I own this long term. I'm not going to trade it, but
Mm-hmm.
I would point out that the court decision over in the UK is causing them to drop. It's just off our gappers. It's been hovering around 2% down all morning.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a court decision against them over there. I haven't had a time to check much of the background on that. And it's not a great intraday trading stock. Every once in a while, you get one of those days on Uber.
Yeah. Yeah.
A couple of others here that had some earnings news. DE, John Deere beat, had decent guidance. So they're up almost 6% this morning. Doesn't have volume, but that's not too surprising for this. Just watch out because this is another one of these highly institutionally traded stocks, NYSE stuff that might not trade well. The pre-market looks terrible, but it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of on my side. Probably not worth putting on your list to go through, but just in case. And RXP is another one looking pretty nasty right now. So that's kind of what I got. AMAT might be a better one too.
Yeah. AMAT. Let's see. Yeah, AMAT
RXP,
once. Yeah, AMAT
not
once in a
RS.
while. I'm sorry. What?
RXT was the one, RSP.
RXT.
Yeah,
This one here. Oh, okay.
which
Yeah.
doesn't look a whole lot better than the other that you pulled up, but they actually have a catalyst.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
so kind of garbagey, but AMAT. So
Yeah. And then AMAT, we'll take a look at that. I like AMAT's daily here. That looks really, really nice. I know the
yeah,
pre-market
that's
needs a little more,
predominantly what
but
I like. We'll see what it
yeah,
does when the
yeah.
market opens.
So that looks good. I'm going to throw that on there for now as well. Right, guys, let's get started here. I'm going to start with Hemi here. Hemi's giving us plug. Let's take a look at that one. That one has been, again, very, very interesting the last couple of days. This pre-market action looks good, guys. Very active, 6.4 right now. After a couple of down days, losing this great level at 61.51. So pre-market looks great. I think it's worth taking a second look at this one. Very active. DKNG. Let's take a look at that one. DKNG. Another one that it can be very explosive at times. Not the easiest one to trade, but they tend to throw in a good couple of days here and there. I like the way they're setting up now for a possible continuation towards the top side here. Pre-market action looking okay, up 3.3, 185. Maybe a possible. If this can get a little bit better, we can move that up there. Heading down, we do have a fuel cell. Let's take a look. Fuel cell at the moment, very active pre-market action, guys. 8.6, up 8.6, 1.6 million shares traded right now. Again, after a couple of down days here, has found support around this 1838 at the moment. So yeah, I like this pre-market action on fuel cell today. I think it's worth taking a second look at least, and then we'll move some up out of these if they start getting any better. Okay, heading on down, we do have fuel cell FU2U again, guys. It's just the risk management on this one is just brutal. I don't know how you can trade this effectively. Just be careful if you're going to do it. I'm not going to add it to my list. But again, you can see that it doesn't look great this morning, though. We've seen better days out of this one, better pre-market action. But just be careful if you're going to have that on your list. Next, we have Riot. Riot this morning. We are, is that up? Yeah, we're up 8%. I'm sorry, 9% this morning, 2.1 million shares traded. As we mentioned before, Riot and Mara, Bitcoin is definitely there's a lot of plays happening there at the moment. But these two stocks, I find it difficult to trade the way we trade. So again, just be mindful. I'm not going to add it to my list. I want to keep space for other stuff. All right, Jimmy, you're giving us a few here. We looked at Neo, we look at PLTR. I'm going to take Jibo. I'm going to take the first one from you, and then we'll move down. So Jibo here, GEVO at the moment. Pre-market action, again, they got volume. They got a 973,000 here, which is nice, but that's not trading well at all. Yesterday they had a drop. How did it trade yesterday? It doesn't look too bad. Not great, but I'm gonna skip on it for now. If it gets better, throw it back out to me. But I'm gonna skip on it from now, just because the pre-market doesn't look all that exciting. Neo, yes, I looked at Neo earlier actually, because I think I had it on my secondary list. I was going through it early this morning, and Neo does look interesting. I don't think it's a great one just yet. Their volume is a little bit light. They're getting a little bit of a bounce here, but their pre-market action could be better. Here, though, it's starting to look very exciting, as it has some room to get going. But I don't think it's a main one just yet. Again, Neo can be very explosive. I'm going to put it as a possible for now. Heading on down, Neo, we did look at Neo. Okay, yep, we have that one on deck. That's good. More Neo stuff. Perfect. That's good. You guys like Neo a lot today. I'm gonna have to take a second look at that. PLTR. Let's take a look at again PLTR. If it trades like it did yesterday, it's not worth even mentioning today. And yesterday, by the way, if you go back, we had an incredible pre-market action. I mean, the pre-market action was really nice. Look at this. Let's just think about it. This is pre-market here. And then here's the open. It's just brutal. Yeah, you had a couple of quick pops and breakouts and probably some stuff happening here. But after that, it just gets real nasty. Look at this drop here. And then look how it trades after. It was just brutal, guys. This morning, right now, we are up 7.4. Again, a beautiful pre-market action. 13 million shares traded. Um, wow, I'm gonna put it as a possible because man, all the numbers are there. The charts looks good, but if it does what it did yesterday, it just it's really nasty. CAN. Let's take a look at that one. CAN is good, guys. This one is very active. I like the pre-market right now. We're up 10% after being very extended on the daily. We did get this pullback here towards 17, and now we might be continuing this move. Again, we know this is a hot one at the moment. Definitely worth taking a look at. DKNG, we did take a look at that one. We have it as a possible. That's good. Jivo. I didn't like Jivo, so I'm gonna put it. Oh, it's at the bottom of your list. Okay, yeah, I think so. Bottom of the list for that one. SPCE. Let's take a look here. SPCE at the moment, I don't see anything great right now, unless they have any catalyst behind it. I don't. Again, they got 2.3. They're up 2.3. 110 is not great volume for them. We've seen better. Their daily could be interesting holding on to this level here, but I'm not seeing anything explosive at the moment. Open. I think we looked at this one before in the past. What's going on with Open right now? Up 4.4, 164. Yeah, everything's kind of got a little bounce rate. Hence why our gappers list is up real. It's real long, and a lot of stuff up between that 2% and that 4%. It's a lot of stuff in there. But I don't know if they're really in play, right? And the daily on this one doesn't look all that great just yet. So I'm gonna skip on that one for now. TL, we'll do a few more, guys, then we'll take a look over at our YouTube friends, see what they got going on there. TLRY. Yeah, this one, again, you have volume. Yesterday was okay towards the downside, had a rough start. But yeah, I think TRY is interesting. The daily, though, look where we're sitting at on the daily, right? We have this level of support here that we've been struggling to lose or get out of. So we're back at that level. We could get choppy, maybe do some of this again after all this madness we had the last couple of days. It could be interesting for today or maybe next week. I'm on the fence, maybe a possible. I don't want to add too much on my main list unless it looks really good. So I'm not going to add that one for right now. All right, let's stop here, guys. Let's take a look over at our friends over at YouTube. Let's start with Luke. Luke, fuel cell, we do have PLTR. We have it, although yesterday was brutal. WATT, this one, we had this one before in the past, and I don't think it trades very well. WATT, 40 million shares float right now. So again, a higher flow, lower price type stock. You got some volume today, 15 million. Let's put it here down in it's not a risky pile, but it is a lower price stock. I'll throw it down here. We'll come back and look at that one. CCIV. This one at the moment, we are up 5.1, 993,000 shares traded. But man, this pre-market action not looking great, which doesn't really matter too much with this stock. This stock is hot at the moment. There's a lot of movement happening with it. So it can trade clean. I'll add it on here. But I believe this is probably one of the worst pre-markets we've seen out of CCIV in the recent days here, right? Obviously very extended on the daily. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. It's still up nicely today, 5.3. It's a very strong stock. Let's go on down to Envis. Envis, I do not like the way Envis trades, really. I think you have to be careful with this one. I don't think it's the best trading stock. Their pre-market action today very, very choppy. So again, I'm not a big fan of that one. I'm gonna move on. Let's look at MU. MU is interesting actually. MU on the daily, their pre-market action always looks like this, so that you can't tell much by their pre-market action, but their daily does look interesting if they can get the volume and get going. I'm not sure if they have a catalyst, but it could be a great continuation of yesterday's action. Let's take a look how it did yesterday, coming back over here. Not bad. Again, a lot of stocks had this drop here. They recovered. This one recovered pretty nice. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe
I think
not
they're
won't stay.
trading. I think they're trading in sympathy with AMAT.
Oh, is this the AMAT that's creating some of this
Yeah.
move here? Okay, see AMAT's daily though. That looks real nice. That is real nice there. So all right, let's take a look at those two later and see what we can come up with that list. All right, excellent guys. Let's stop here. Um let's go over our community announcement, but I'm gonna bring up also our website to go over the stuff that's coming up. Let's bring this over here.
Yeah, guys. So this is it. We redid the web page here, so it's easy to find the schedule. If you just go to that navigation pane at the top and it says webinars, click on that, and you'll get the upcoming schedule for all of our various webinars, whether they're technology, psychology, strategy, any of those kind of things. So next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern special time, we'll have Eamon talking about candlesticks and candlestick patterns. And then the week after, on March 2nd, 8 p.m., the normal time, you'll have Thor talking about pivots. This is the second part in that price-based analysis series that he's doing. If you need to catch up, you can find part 1 in the recording area. Then next Wednesday, we'll have Dr. Katz doing his shrink wrap series, which is a town hall. He'll have 2 traders from the community and do a little conversation there. Those have had great feedback. That'll be 8 p.m. next Wednesday. And then 8 p.m. the Wednesday after, Dr. Kenneth Reed will talk about the kill zone and Fibonacci and using that in trading and psychology and everything else. So check those out. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade with entries and exits on it, and of course, mark it up with commentary on your strategy, why you entered, exited, all those things posted on Twitter. Tag at Bearable Traders, at MikeB_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. We will pick a winner each day that'll be posted on Twitter, and in the closing bell show, it'll be announced. And then all of those trades of the day for the week will be voted on over the weekend by the team, and the winner will win trade of the week. That's announced Monday afternoon in the closing bell show and on Twitter as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, use the promo code PREMARKET24. That'll get you a discount on the intro membership, which doesn't auto-renew or turn into any other kind of membership. It's just 7 days, 7 calendar days in the chat room, 5 trading days. And it also gives you access to our Monday night learning sessions, which include Carlos's onboarding class and Kyle's new technology class.
All right, thank you.
And don't forget, we still have the Valentine's Day promotion, Elite Annual Membership, 40% off. Use the promo code LOVE40. So fitting for our anniversary, buddy.
Oh, yes, it is. Just perfect timing. All right, guys, here it is. Someone mentioned Roku AJ in our chat. They had earnings, I believe. So, yeah, it could be interesting as well. I could see the action here yesterday. But again, Roku now at this price range, you really need a heavy catalyst to get this moving. So we'll keep an eye on it for our scanners. Thanks for mentioning that. All right, let's take a look, guys. Quick recap towards the bottom. UAVS we have here as a possible. I think it looks very, very active this morning. I have Dropbox here, but you know what? I like the daily for a possible loss of this level, but this stock is it just doesn't trade very well. DE is good here, guys. I know the pre-market action is pretty dead right now, but the daily looks really interesting here for a possible breakout. Just got to be careful with this one. It's a higher price stock. Make sure the spread is good. Just be mindful of the number of shares you take. AMAT as well, very similar daily for possible breakout. Again, not much going on there as far as pre-market right now. But these are the ways these type of stocks, they tend not to have a great pre-market action, but can put in a really good day. And their setup right now on the day looks very, very good. DKG is decent, great possible as well. Fuel cell, I think, is very, very active. I have that one here, so possible. Neo is good. I like Neo this morning as well. POTR, if POTR has such a better pre-market, I mean, a better day than it did yesterday, it can be very explosive. I think it might still be one to add up to our main list. Yeah, I think POTR. I know I'm probably gonna get crap for this, but I think it can. You just never know. You got to treat it like it's a hit or miss, and this one could put in a really good day. We want to see if today's going to be that day. All right, so let's recap. T on the main list, TIGR. I'm gonna remove this one. I think I'm gonna bring it down to Apostle. I think that's where it belongs. I think I'd rather have POTR up here than this one, to be honest. So let's get this one out the way. Here's Uber. Uber is good, has some potential. Plug is nice, guys. Again, Plug coming back here up 6.2 right now, 1.2 million shares traded. CAN continues to just blow things out of the water right now, looking really good, up 11.2 with some great volume. CCIV. Now this one here, pre-market's not great. But man, they have been fun to watch, guys. Again, it's just been so explosive over the last couple of days. As you have seen, if you're in our chat room, obviously, we're talking about this one quite a bit. You can see that some of the breakouts that it has had, very explosive. In the last couple of days, there's been some choppiness here on the daily, but in the intraday, there's been some really good opportunities. So I want to keep this one on here. Really, just looking at this, it should be just a possible, but I think that's worth watching. Here's MU. I like MU's daily today. I'm going to keep that one on there. And then PLTR. Okay, I think we have a decent sized list for Friday. Let's go ahead and start doing some levels. Let's start with Uber today. The low of the pre-market sitting at a 56.71 towards the bottom. We're looking at 54.92. And then below that, I think we have there's definitely a level. We have a lot of touches here at 52.17. Look at the area of resistance. Got some support happening here as well. 54.92 also looking very nice here. A lot of touches. Great area of resistance that can now be a good area of support if we can lose this 56.71. So Uber looks good towards the top. Plenty of levels here, guys. They have a catalyst today that's not good for them. As Norm mentioned earlier, hopefully that can give us a nice run. And Uber is easy to get in and out of. It has a lot of liquidity, does great on volume. So doesn't trade very well for most days, but today hopefully we can get a good movement out of that one. Now here's Plug. Plug we know has been very good to us. Not the last couple of days, been a little bit choppy in here. But let's see what we got today. 53.80 high of the pre-market towards the bottom. The low of the pre-market all the way past the previous day close at 47.19. Now pre-market action is looking good, stalling a little bit here at 53.79. Up at this 5%. So we'll see what gets out of that. If we come back down to this 47.19, if we were to lose that, a very clean level down here at 43.52. I hope that's the play that we do. But again, we do have an opportunity to trade this to the long side as well. We got some levels in here from the highs and lows of the last two trading days. Here's CAN, as we mentioned earlier, very explosive. The last couple of days, you have your highs and lows pretty much doing all the work here for you as far as levels. I don't think you need to add much more to this. Maybe some tighter levels here. If you're going to be scalping this one, you have a great level right over here at a 1845. Another the bottom of this kind of range, right? It's kind of stuck within a range bouncing back and forth here between 1845 and 1843. And if you're scalping, that is a great range, right? That's you definitely want to, if you can get 40 cents out of a stock that's $18, that is really good, guys. All right, so that's looking good there. CCIV, this one again, pre-market action I think can be better, but the daily certainly looking interesting. Maybe this could be a possible instead of a main list. I'm gonna look at the moderators lineup and see what they have and see what we can get out of this one. So right now at the moment 62.47 high of the pre-market towards the bottom, guys. We have 60. We're struggling right now with this 60 looks like, and then down here I don't know, I'm not sure about this one, but 60.11, you got a couple of wicks coming down here. Again, pre-market very choppy at the moment. Outside of this, you have your pre-market highs and lows from, I'm sorry, your daily highs and lows from the last two trading days. So again, pretty not great right now, but it does have some potential, maybe a strong possible there. MU, guys, I like the daily on MU. Pre-market is actually not bad. MU doesn't put in a great pre-market, and it hasn't been doing so in a very long time. I mean, before, even when they were in play, their pre-market looked a little bit better than this. But I like this one today. Yeah, I know they might be doing a sympathy play with AMAT. But I think it's worth just having on our list this morning. 89, 20, 28 towards the bottom. We have a level there. Towards the top, guys, we have one 94.39. We could throw a level there. That's the current high of the pre-market at the moment. Let's see if we can break out of that. And I believe we are at all-time highs on MU. So that's looking really decent there. And towards the bottom, as we mentioned, highs and lows from the last two trading days are taking care of you there. PLTR, again, let's just hope for a clean open here. But again, you gotta be really, really picky with this one, guys, because it can give you a lot of fake outs, especially at the market open. Wait for this to settle down if you're not seeing a good setup. High of the pre-market 27.67. Towards the bottom, you have the highs from the and lows from the last trading day, plus the previous day close, which is a great area of support. And that's where we came to, right? We came down yesterday after a couple of really red days. Yesterday we gapped down huge, and that's where we stopped. We stopped right there at this previous day close line where we're seeing that great support. So towards the bottom of that, I don't think we'll get there today, but just in case, 22.81, another great area of support. You can see the change in direction, but again, that previous day close line, that's where a lot of battles has taken place here. You can see here over and over again, just bouncing off that previous day close line. All right, that is what we have, guys. Let's take a look at what we have. Uber is okay. Plug is good pre-market action. CAN I think is great, setting up like it wants to break out of here. CCIV not great pre-market action. I think I'm gonna move this one down, guys. Let's move down CCIV. We'll get rid of it for now. I don't want to completely discard it. I think it can be great. UAVS pre-market is looking very clean, guys. Great volume, up 26%. I know the daily looks a little bit crappy here, but this is interesting. After dropping down like this, we're up 26% today. So I kind of like that. What the heck? Let's put it. It's Friday. Let's see what we can get out of that. Let's put that on there. DE stays there. AMAT, keep a lookout for AMAT, guys, alongside with MU. DKNG is decent. I like the daily on that one. Pre-market looks great. Fuel cell is good. Neo is okay, and TRY is also down here. All right, so we have a good list. Let's take a look at our moderators lineup. Let's come up here to see what we have. Bring our visuals in here. Okay, here we go. Let's make this a little bit out the way here. Wow, we are early today, 9 a.m. Usually I'm getting to this by like 9:14, 9:13. So we got some time. Maybe we'll look at some of the stuff you guys want to throw out again. So start throwing out some tickets that we can look at that are not already on this list, guys. So if it's already on here, again, our main list is Uber. Our secondary list is Uber, Plug, CAN, MU, and POTR, and UAVS. Here's our secondary list that we're looking at. If it's already on here, we've been through it. So whatever's not on there. All right, Thor, he's watching DKNG. He's looking at Plug. He has a little brief commentary on what he's looking for on these. PLTR, again, PLTR has great volume, trading well in the pre-market. Let's hope that translate into our market open. What do we have here? Walmart big drop yesterday, guys. Again, very choppy after that. Just be careful. It tend to be very choppy at times. Neo is on the list here. Jared has Plug, Fuel Cell, XPEF, and Neo, both of them oversold criteria. So yeah, I agree with that as well. PLTR, and also he's looking at some of the banks here. It looks like, yeah, the bank and financial sector. So that's good. Secondary list. So that's his entire main list. Secondary list looking at DKNG. Peter is looking at surprisingly no IPOs on this Friday. Dima, she likes PLTR, Plug, AMAT, and Apple. And Tiffany is looking at Plug, Neo, and secondary. She's looking at MU. We'll come back. I know some moderators still working on their list, so we'll come back to this. But right now, let's take a look at what else you guys like this morning, since we do have a couple of minutes left here. So I'm going to scroll back up, and we will start with let's start with Gator. Oh no, you're not giving us Vicky. Let's start with Vicky. Baidu. Yeah, Baidu has been very active, guys. If you look at Baidu now, their daily looks very, very good. They've been just explosive. For me, they're a difficult stock to trade, but if you do like trading them, definitely have them on your list. The last couple of days, they've been really, really amazing. So keep an eye on them. If we look at, I don't know about yesterday, but the day before, I believe it was here. Even in terms of downside, they're trading well. It's a strong stock, but even in terms of downside, they're trading decent. So yeah, yesterday was not so great for them, as it was for a lot of stocks. They're very choppy in here, but there's some days here where they've done very, very well. Let's take a look at, we looked at Roku, right? Roku already. Let's take a look at it again. Roku this morning. What do we have here? Roku on their pre-market action again, pretty light right now, but we know they have a earnings possible play here. So yeah, I'm not gonna add it to my list right now. I know Roku, so if it jumps up on the scanners, I will be taking a look at it there. Heading on down, what do we have? By the we looked at GameStop. What is GameStop doing? GameStop here. Yeah, I don't know about GameStop, guys. I think it's just becoming more of a chop fest here. I don't think there's much going on at the moment. So I'll just stay away from this one right now. DKG, we do have PENN. Let's take a look at that one. This one, very light on the pre-market action. And actually, we've seen this one on our list before. It doesn't trade a whole lot. What happened to our trade ideas gapper stuff here? Disappeared. It doesn't trade all that well, so I'm gonna stay away from that one. I see Tesla by Tito over in YouTube. Let's take a look there. What's going on with Tesla this morning? They are up. They're pretty much flat right now, so not much going on. I don't see them in play, so that's not really anything exciting there. NVAX this morning. Let's take a look. NVAX is very difficult to trade, guys. I find it very, very difficult to trade. The price action, this doesn't have a lot of liquidity. They don't trade a whole lot of volume too. If you look down here, they're very light, around 7 million shares traded. And they traded 7 million shares here. And look at the move. So when you have a move like that with such light volume, the price action gets funky, right? And that's the issue with this one. So just be mindful if you're going to be trading something like this. I see Apple being thrown on both lists. Let's take a look at that one. They had a great day. Was it 2 days ago? Yeah, I think it was 2 days ago. They had an amazing pre-market action, great pre-market open, great open to the market as well. Today, I don't see a whole lot. I don't think they're in play. Their volume is slightly lighter than what we're used to seeing when they are heavily in play. And their pre-market doesn't look all that great compared to what we've seen Apple's great pre-market action. This is not one of them. Maybe for a regular stock, this would be, but not for Apple. Okay, SOS. I see a lot of people throwing that one out. I know that one was insane yesterday. Today they're active again, up 7.4, 2.2 million shares traded. And I lost my float. What's the float on SOS, by the way? Is it a low flow stock? Is that what it is? I lost my float window here. Somebody can confirm that. And I'm gonna remove what? Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it. I just this is not a low flow stock, and it's a lower price stock. And again, I'm just not a big fan. I'll leave it here. Let's see how it trades. I'll leave it here, but I'm not a big fan of this one. 60 million. All right, so SOS is 60 million. Really? Wow. Nice. I'm still gonna keep it down here. I think you still have to be very, very careful. It is you want to treat it with a lot of risk management on this one. So be very careful. These both are very risky, but especially that SOS. Although it's 60 million, look at the moves that it did the last couple of days. This thing can really, really move. So be mindful of that. Um, okay, excellent, guys. That is what we have. I'm gonna continue looking at Peter's list now. Is Uber, AMD, of course, plug. Secondary list is looking at PLTR and Roku as well. Paul is giving us GEVO. Didn't we look at that one? GEVO. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think we did. Doesn't look great right now as far as the pre-market action goes. So again, I'm going to keep it off. I know they have 1.1 million shares. They're up 10%. So the numbers are looking good there. But the pre-market action not great. So we'll see. But again, another stock that we know, guys. When the market is moving the way it is, we have so much on deck. The scanners are your friends because you just can't have a list of 20, 50 plus stocks you're going to watch today. And if you go looking for them, you will find them. But you can't have a list like that. It's very difficult to manage and be focused on finding your strategy. So keep in mind that let the scanners do their job as well. And this is why it helps to have scanners that you can filter out a lot of the stuff like trade ideas, right? You got to have a great scanner, or else it's the same thing. If you have a scanner that's throwing everything out to you, then you're in the same situation as watching a bunch of stocks. So um all right. So what's the scanners I like throughout the day? The turbo breakup and breakdown are pretty good, but not just every single stock that comes up there. You got to see a stock that comes up like 4 times, 5 times. When you see that, okay, something's going on. And then you look for stocks that you kind of had either in your secondary list or stock that you kind of talked about. For example, if I see Roku on there, I know I'm going to look at it. If I see AMD, I'm going to look at it. These are stocks that we know can trade very well with volume. After doing this for some time, you start knowing the tickers that if they come up on that list, you definitely want to take a look at it. Like Apple, right? I don't have Apple on here, but if Apple comes up on that list, I'm definitely going to tune in to see what's going on. And the best alert of them all, the chat room. You guys, point something out. Hey, this thing is moving. That's probably one of the things I keep an eye on. We all keep an eye on because you guys bring up some good ones. We can't watch everything. So by being part of this community helps a lot, guys, especially with the way the market is now. Where look at our gappers list this morning, huge, right? It's just everything's on here. You want to find a stock is on here. Let's see, APHA is on here. Everything's on here. SRNE, Neo, Space. I mean, you got the whole deck of what we traded so far at the beginning of this year. It's all on here. So BNGO is here. Everything is here. So it helps a lot to be part of this community. So thank you guys for that. All right, guys, this is what we have. I think we have a good list just to recap. Oh, hold on. Brian is coming in with his list. He has plugged Neo, EH, guys, EH. How about that? EH is, again, be very, very careful with this one. I can check the float now, but it is a very, very risky stock. Very active yesterday and the day before as well, obviously. So again, just be very, very careful. He's watching DKNG as well, VCNX just for fun. And usually that means it's something wild, and it is. It's something wild right on here. VCNX up 100%, 19 million shares traded so far. But look at this pre-market action, guys, right? But we skipped a few of the low flow stocks we had because they did not look just like this. This is what you want to see. Look at the volume coming in here, up 100%, 20 million shares traded. Look at the way the candles are forming, really clean in here. Now maybe it wasn't so clean here at this moment, but now it has started to pick up and looking real nice. So definitely keep an eye on that one as well. Okay. Did someone say BNGO? BNGO. Yes, but I don't see no bingo here at all this morning. They don't look great right now. So maybe for the scanners. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining the pre-market show. This is all we have so far. Yes, I want to recap this actually. We have Uber on the list, looking more active than it was before. We have Plug on here. This is looking good, pre-market action, great volume. We have CAN, which has been explosive, so let's keep an eye on that one. I like MU's daily, but really MU is more of a possible. I'm just hoping that they really shouldn't be here. I'm hoping that they do something great today, but it's not really looking great aside from the daily. So we'll see what comes out of that. POTR has an amazing pre-market action, guys. Just remember how choppy this thing can be. We saw that yesterday. It was just horrible. So hopefully that's not the case today, but it does. Everything looks good on it. It's up 7%. Has a great daily and also 17 million shares traded. So that's pretty good. And we also have UAVS, which has a decent pre-market action as well with some great volume. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, everyone. Trade safe. Remember, it is Friday, so you have 2 days of no trading. You want to be relaxed and not think about errors that you made this week, as this today, as far as discipline. So be disciplined, follow your rules, and remember, your trade book is your guide to taking trades. If it's not in your trade book, if you look at a trade, something is moving. Doesn't matter the volume, doesn't matter the price. If it's not in your trade book, you're not taking that trade. It's as simple as that. It's very clear cut. There's no if and buts about it. If it's not in your trade book, you don't take the trade, right? So again, our chat room is a tool. You got to use it correctly. If you see other people taking trades, that's great, but you are an independent trader. So you have your trade book right in front of you. Hopefully you printed it out or you have it on your screen. Just take a glimpse, look at it, and just make sure that when you're taking that trade, does this line up with my criteria that I have on my trade book? Very, very important. So take care, guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys on Monday at 8:30 a.m. Take care, everyone.